Is marijuana addictive? My name is Alexander. I'm a psychologist by training, and that is a question I'm asked frequently. Now, the question presumes that addiction is caused by a substance, but of course, that's not really true. Because if that were the case, something like internet pornography, for example, where there is no substance per se, couldn't be addictive, and we know that it most certainly can be. Something like gambling, for example, couldn't be addictive, and we know that gambling can be very addictive, and there's no substance there, right? So it's not the substance that determines an addiction. So if it's not the substance that determines an addiction, what does? Well, it's the person that actually determines the addiction. The person is the primary element in the addiction equation. The greater the person has a need to escape, avoid, or cope with something that's going on in their lives, the greater the risk of developing some sort of a habit that allows them to escape, avoid, or cope with whatever's going on in their lives. Assuming, of course, they don't have other resources, support or something like that, that allows them to deal with whatever they're facing. So, in the absence of some kind of a support or some kind of personal resources that allow them to deal with whatever they're facing in their lives, the risk of an addiction exists. But really, it's the person actually is the primary factor in that addiction equation. So, what does that mean for the question that we were asking? Is marijuana addictive? Well, the answer is it most certainly can be. If something like internet pornography can be addictive, something like gambling can be addictive, then undoubtedly a mind altering substance which can provide a person an escape or relief can be addictive. But that's not the whole story. Not every person who uses marijuana is likely to become addicted to it. So why is that? Well, because of individual differences. If you take a group of people, for example, who all use marijuana and alcohol, in that group of people, there'll be a few who will be susceptible to a marijuana addiction, and then there'll be some who will be susceptible to an alcohol addiction, assuming that this group of people they all use marijuana and alcohol regularly, right? So some people will be susceptible because of individual differences, will be more susceptible to a marijuana addiction, and others will be more susceptible to an alcohol addiction. So how do we know for sure that the person has an addiction? Well, there are some signs that typically emerge when a person is has developed a habit, and so these signs, for example, are if the person has tried to quit and has had difficulty doing it. Well, that's a key sign that the person has an addiction of some sort, right? Or let's say the person's had some difficulty in their relationship because of their use of the substance. So there's an indicator that there's a problem. If they've had problems at work, they've missed work, and as a result of their use, so that's another indicator. Let's say they're having health problems as a consequence of their use. Well, that's an indicator that the person has a problem. So any of these questions, if you answer yes to any of these questions, it's suggestive. It's suggestive that there's a problem of some sort. Of course, if you want to know whether you really do have a problem or not, there is a way of actually getting some sort of an idea about that. And what you can do is you can try quitting for a month, let's say, and then just monitoring your experience. You can run an experiment and just monitor your experience. And if you find that you're experiencing a compulsion to go back and use, or if you find yourself making excuses to go back and use before the month is up, well, chances are there's a problem. Of course, if before the month is up you are back using again, then that really says something. So I hope this video has been of some help to you. If you have any comments or questions, Please feel free to leave them for me and I will try and answer them for you. In the meantime, good luck and take care.